Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to my latest video, how to day trade any market. This is session 128. I like to start this off with and call it the $1,000 a day challenge, because this is the true reality of successful day trading. $1,000 plus per day, and I'm going to show you the setups that will help you easily achieve that on a daily basis. And actually, I should say potentially achieve this, just so I don't get in trouble with the regulators. Now in today's session we are going to be looking at the 6J and the 6E, trading the currency futures markets. However, you can apply this to oil, to gold, to stocks, to forex. The setups are exactly the same. They're just on different markets, different time frames. As always, I do need to pull up the disclaimer so I don't get in trouble. There is a risk in trading. Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. Stay on the simulator until you're consistently profitable. Traders, very quick advertisement. If you haven't already downloaded either my training manual or the truth about day trading, please click on the description link below. As well as that, if you go down below, you'll be able to download my spreadsheet and a training video over on, I should say, how I set my daily targets and the methodology behind that. So you'll be able to download the spreadsheet and a training video that goes with it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be kept up to date with my, on average they are 2 or 3 videos a week, and better still, become a member. Everything you're about to see, all of my setups, etc., for 297 I should say, you can purchase. This is or would be the last training program you would ever need to invest in. It's probably the most comprehensive training program for day traders and scalpers globally. Here are the modules for new traders: trading terms and abbreviations, trading strategies. There are over 15 strategies. There are 35 PowerPoints, over 200 videos. But don't worry, you don't have to watch them all, by the way. In fact, I recommend, and I'll point these out on the charts when we get there, is you only focus on just a couple of setups, particularly early in your career. So for 297 you get everything, plus you can attend my live coaching sessions for 1 month. Now normally it's 197 a month, so I'm including a month free, so that's 8 2-hour live and or recorded. So if you can't attend the live sessions, so it's basically 16 hours of private group coaching. So we've got other traders in the group. You can type in questions, etc. Now stay to the end and stay with me, by the way. Don't switch off yet, because I'm going to get to the setups and hopefully I blow you away with how effective these setups are. So for 297 you get the works. After month 1, if you wish to continue with the group coaching session, you can drop us an email. It's not an automatic sign up for the ongoing. Okay, let's get into this. Now when we go to the charts, I want you to stop looking for reasons why they don't work, because anyone can say, oh, it's close to a pivot. Well, we'll talk about pivots in a moment. The only reason the setup won't work, or the setups I should say, and you'll see I've got a range of setups, is if, say, the market's too fast, it's moving too fast, and which you just need to increase the time frame, or if it's around news, maybe sit on hands, or if you're in chop. And I'll show you some very effective methods to make sure that I'm not in a choppy sideways market. The setups will always work because it's based on, or most of them are based on, momentum or reversals. Now trading as a business, I've discovered over the years, traders, I've been trading now for as a day trader now for 28 years, and you've got to have a compelling future, but it's also got to be realistic to some degree. It's no good saying from the outside, I want to earn $1,000 a day per contract. Is that possible? Absolutely. Is it probable for a new trader? Absolutely not. However, earning $200-300 a day per contract is. So seriously, you can achieve this sort of target. How? by having a sensible target per contract. And I'm going to be showing you sensible contracts, or so I should say a sensible target today, as my target is around $160 per contract on the currency futures per day. And I'll show you why, by the way. And I achieve that generally in about 1 hour as each trading session, as you're about to see. Now let's start to drill down now on what I'm looking for, and also the markets, and why I consider, or why we'll consider trading the 6E, the 6J, and maybe even the micro contract if you don't have the funds available. First of all, what are we looking at trading? I want to trade overall in the direction of a higher time frame. The dark blue line represents what I call the anchor chart. The green line, the little green arrows, that's where I get a retracement and I jump in on the trend continuation. Now I do love my reversals. Okay, so when we get down here, we'll quite often then have either a snapback trade, a mean reversal, sorry, let me say that again, a reversion to the mean, or we have a standard divergence trade. You will see some of those in a couple of moments. Now the other important thing for us to consider is the volume. Okay, now if we look at the currency futures, here's a huge benefit of currency futures, is that you can trade the market 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. You can get home from, say, most of my members, I have 6,000 members now, most of them are US based. You get home at 6 p.m. Eastern and you can start trading. You can trade like the 6E or the 6J. Of course, you can trade the ES, and there are other markets. The advantage with these is they're only $6.25 a tick, or $1.25 a tick on the 6E of a 6. Sorry, on the 6E. Yes, if you trade the micro. Okay, and if you look down here at the micro, there it is. There, you've got 40,000 contracts traded. Now that's not huge at all, by the way. However, if you're on a budget and you've only got a very small trading account, it's an ideal spot to start, as I will show you on the chart, and I'll show you how to trade it. So the my favorite markets are the 6J, the 6E, even the 6A, which is the Aussie, is quite good. Putting aside, of course, the ES and CL and gold and other markets, I love the RTY for an example. So why trade this market? Well, after hours, once again, we've got tons of volume. Now I'm recording this at 11:32 p.m. Central Standard Time, and there's just been probably 20 great setups since the market opened at 5 p.m. Central, and I'll see if we have time, we'll look at those. Okay, a couple of other things here is the commission, and the reason I'm bringing this up, if you're going to start trading on the micro ES, and you'll see why I recommend this if you've only got a small account. This is with Ninja Trader. Now they're a fantastic trading program, platform I should say. I have no affiliation with them, except I use their trading platform, as literally thousands of my members do. But if you've got a lifetime license, it'll cost you on the micros, this is $1.08. Or if you just just use their brokerage service, it's $1.60 or $1.40 if you're on the monthly plan. So if you buy it outright, I've got a multi-broker license, it's a lot cheaper. Okay, now that's there. Then you get to trading the big contract, and the big contract there is $2.80, sorry, $4.80. You double that, by the way, that's each side. So it's $4.80 there, and it's $1.08 on the micro. And the reason I bring that up is the account size requirements. Now with your broker, they'll say, look, if you're going to trade the micro, you only need $50 in your account. Well, actual traders, you need around 600. And the reason being, as you're about to see on the next sheet here, on the next slide I should say, we never risk more than 2%. Okay, and therefore if you've got a stop loss of say 10 ticks, that's $12.50. So and that's of course would wipe your account out quick smart. Traders, it's so important that you start with the right account size. And in fact, if you go and trade the big contract, say the 6E, I recommend you have around 3200. I love the 6J in my part of the world, by the way. Great volume. 6J, you get plenty of volume, and I recommend you have around the 30 around 3,200, and you'll see why on that in a moment. Now this is what the overall margin is. However, we're intraday traders, we don't hold overnight positions, so therefore that's why we can get away with the day trading margins. So let me spend a couple of minutes on this, because it's important that this is a business. You've got an incredible opportunity here to succeed as a scalper and day trader, but only if you follow the money management rules. That is, there are old traders, there are bold traders, but there are no old bold traders, meaning reckless traders that are not conservative with their money management rules are going to be wiped out. And they'll get in there and they'll hope they'll make it, but it never ends well. So let me show you how you can get going on this market. Now, say you'd need here on the micro 6E, actually you'd need $640 to start with. Okay, now if you don't have that, say if you got 400, there are still alternatives. You can say trade the Russell, the micro Russell, or even the micro ES after hours. But I just want to focus on this market today, just because you've got great volume. Let me just quickly show you this. In fact, we look here, this is actually, I'll pull this up so you can see that there. This is the micro. Look at the market depth. Now market depth, these are how many contracts. It's just huge. Okay, so you've just got tons of market depth there on either the micro or the big contract. Now unfortunately, you really only have that market depth or really the great better volume on the micro, on the micro euro contract. But that doesn't matter. We don't care which market we trade, as long as it gives us the waves and the results. Now here's how you can start off with 640. Up here we've got a 10-tick stop loss. Okay, and there we then go for a $20 a day net return. Now how we achieve that is 4 6-tick trades a day, or of course you might go for 3 8-tick trades a day, etc. Now the commissions are quite high proportionally. What I've done is taken an average. Okay, now my commission, if I was to trade a micro, is only $1.08. I think I mentioned before. Here I've allowed $1.50, but if you get 4 net trades, this is after any losses. And how my compound table works, and once again you can download this along with the training video, you only start trading a second contract when you double your money. So when you go from 640 up to 1280, you then start trading an additional contract. Traders, this is how you truly get wealthy as a day trader. So here, once we've done this over how many weeks there, because we need around 3,200 within 14 weeks, we're now earning 460 a day, sorry, my apologies, a week. We've now got 3,500 in our account. We can now start trading the big contract. Now that's taking you 14 weeks, starting off with 640. Now you're going to find the compound returns, the returns we have here, there's nothing else like it. So from there we actually go there. What have I got here? And this is if you're going for, by the way, $30 per day, 5 trades a day. Then you're going to be there within around 9 weeks. You'll be there. So if you go for just that extra $10 a day. Now one thing with the micro, you don't get the number of setups. That's why I sort of am giving you sensible, achievable targets, rather than saying, oh yes, you're going to romp $50-60 a day in per micro. You might if you're reckless perhaps, but let's just be realistic with our trading. Now once we do roll over into the big contract where we need $3,125, and the reason we want that is that we're going to have a stop loss of up to 10 ticks or 62.50. Okay, we want to go for a 5% return per day, which is very achievable, should say potentially, so I don't get in trouble. But within 14 weeks you got the potential there of a $12,000 a week income. This is a reality. This is just on 5-6 tick trades a day. Is that achievable? Well, you be the judge in a moment. Okay, so this is about money management, realistic targets. Well under 6 months, traders, you can be trading full-time, living the life of your dreams. This is a reality. Now, a lot of traders don't want to listen to this. They want to break the rules, etc. They really can't handle the truth. Well, so be it. We've already discussed pretty much about the volume, so let's go to the charts here on the trades that I've taken. Now, these are over 2 trading days, and unlike a lot of my videos, I didn't record these, so I was only doing personal trading, but I'll explain these setups. But I do want to show you a couple of things on a live chart in a moment. So what we've got here is a 2-tick Renko chart, and up here I went short. Now all of the setups that I trade are all based on patterns. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is a pattern. Okay, got a double top, got a higher high, so this is a pattern. Now this is also a reversal trade. I recommend all new traders, you only want to trade with the trend. You had one there, you had one there, you had one there, and you'll see on the other market at the moment, because here, if I remember correctly, I was trading both the 6E and the 6J here, 2 on each. So what I want you to notice here is the EMAs that I'm using and the trend on the EMAs. Also, I want you to notice my turning point indicator. See the arrows? That's telling me when the market is potentially turning. So we can either turn the alerts on there, and that's right at a pivot, by the way, or we can turn on and have our super scalper on. That's the white paint bar, and you're not in until the close of your 3rd candle there. So the turning point indicator will get me in slightly earlier, or especially if I'm in a sideways market, I want to wait for the super scalper. Now in this particular case, I got out with only 1 tick on each contract. Okay, basically a break even. And look, I did the same thing over here as well. Went a little further, and we also had, for members watching, that was a T3. That's a reversion to the mean trade just there. So look, should have I taken that one? Probably not, and I'll tell you why. When you have a reversal trade, that cyan line is an 89 EMA. The closer you are to the 89 EMA, particularly if it's in an uptrend, the more likely we are to bounce off it. And that's why I went to break even as soon as I got down there. Okay, so just be aware of that, traders. And that was over here. It actually bounced, come back down. Okay, and I got out then. Oh, that's right. See that there? That happened in a microsecond. I was about to go to break even, and break even means my entry price plus a tick, and bang, it flicked over there within, if you look down here, within a microsecond it went boom like that. Anyway, the safer form of trading, and you've got to set up right there as well, is here. You see it's trading with the trend. But then I did jump in on this trend trade here. Now so that was 2 out of 2. Now then I had another T10 just here. It was also a reversion to the mean just here as well, and this one was kinda better to me. Then come down, and over here I had another T10 entry over here. But now see this here also had some divergence, so I could have entered a little bit earlier just here. Now if you're following the rules, now once again, trading for a long time, it gives me an advantage of, for an example, we had a golden trade. See that black line there, support resistance, golden trade there. I wasn't trading at that time, and this is 2 a.m. in the morning. This is the London Open, by the way. right? But it could have been earlier in the evening. It really doesn't matter. So at 2 a.m. that's about 6 p.m. my time. Now if you're a new trader, see how we're getting a fanning of the EMAs. Okay, see that blue? You really want to be trading in the direction. As you gain experience, you get to recognize these little double bottom patterns or double top patterns, and under certain conditions such as this one here, it's a pivot bounce, these become very high probability setups. So what we had there was 4 out of 4. Let's now go to, I think this was the next day. Now on this particular day, and just I've marked up all the potential trades here. You had one here which you then would have sold again down into the 89, had one there. I took this one. We had a potential, and here's a loss, and we'll talk about that in a moment, where I should have been in there, by the way, but instead I get stopped and then I jump up here. But let's just first of all start down here, and let's just talk about the with trend trades. What we have to be very aware of is the pivots. Now pivot can be yesterday's close, the current day's open, Camarilla pivots, the standard floor pivots. All of these areas will act as do the major EMAs act as major support resistance levels. And as you learn these, traders, they just become very, very high probability. Is that the important thing is to make sure we're in a trending market. We do that by using the cloud or the angle of our EMAs and some of our other indicators that just make it a hell of a lot easier to identify a trend. So I took this one up to the pivot, thank you very much. I then shorted this was what we call the T3 pivot bounce. I was out down here, thank you very much. Then I took another one. I should have been in right here. Now there's a concept I call it black box thinking. At the end of each day we go back over our trades, or you should be going over your own trades, that is, and just examining what can I learn from today, what will I do differently tomorrow, how can I improve my entries, my exits, etc. Because once again, if you got the potential there to be earning 5 to 10,000 a week, you need to be willing to do the things that other losing traders won't do. Okay, and they're very basic things that we need to be doing. Just examining our setups, just going back, checking out the patterns. Did we follow our rules? Do we put our stop where it's meant to go, etc. All right, this is not rocket science. Virtually anyone can learn how to master the art of day trading if they're willing to follow the rules. Do I have a pattern? Do I have a bounce off a trending EMA? So anyway, I took this trade here, and look, reversal trades are very good to me, but they can be devilish at times, particularly if you're in what I call a grinding market. A grinding market is when your EMAs, notice how they're all very much here in a channel. Okay, what you want to see is angulation. Angulation is where you see price action moving out and then it comes back again. That improves the probability of a reversal trade dramatically. So do pivot bounces, as we had there. So I had a little bit of angulation, but then I got stopped out of it. I should have been either in that one there. I jumped in this trade up here, which then continued. Where was that? I went for the R2, which was right up here on this one. So with this entry, I don't normally hold on to a trade so long. I'll usually go, see these here, I call these steps. I'll usually get out at 6 to 8 steps. And on a one tick, that's one tick per step. That's what I'm after. And just to give you an idea, on this market here, 25 steps a day, after any commissions, 25 after any commissions and losses, 25 of those, that's 157.50 a day. Okay, so that's what I was going to say there, that's a 5% return on your capital requirement. Now it's not quite on mine, it's only 2.5, because I only risk 1%. Now by only risking 1%, what that means is sometimes you'll see me in my videos, I'll add to a winning position, so I might add on. and you can only really do that. Look, you can do it if you're in the green. Okay, you can add on because you're already in the green, as long as it doesn't drop back down in the red. But look, that's beyond today's conversation. Anyway, nice little trade here, but on the way up you had a beautiful one just there. If you had been, I was still in this trade here, and then I had a beautiful double T3. Now a double T3 means that I've got a T3, a reversion to the mean trade on 2 time frames. Okay, and it increases the probabilities of the trade dramatically when you've got double reversion to the mean. Look at the angulation. Now there's a very strict rule on this, and it makes it very easy to identify. Okay, so there's a couple of, well actually it's really one key rule I work on, whether or not to take these T3s, and if it meets the rule, bang, you've got it. Now over here, come down, here was another, just a gold, and these are just our classic setups just there. You had one there, had one. Look, that is a T3 just there again, by the way. Now the important fact here, traders, all of these are patterns. That's a pattern, that's a pattern, that is after your T20 there. That's called a T20-1, and it's for names longer, it explains what it is. We just give them codes, and we've got a beautiful 2B pivot bounce just there. Now the reason that's important, we as humans are very good at identifying patterns. Now this is the micro contract here ticking away. Now and if you remember watching this, as you know, I've been saying up to recently, look, forget the micros. Look, forget it really on any market except the 6E, which I've spent some time on it today. It's a great starting point. It's only $1.25 a tick, so it can be a really good spot to start with, but I wouldn't recommend the micro. The yen is like there's 700 contracts a day. Forget it. Okay, but this has at least some decent volume. Now the X Open, this is when the market opened at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you had a trade there, you had one there, had one there. That one just there, just subject to your anchor chart, but I think you'll find that was probably a T12 on your anchor chart. Was that one just there? Look, oh, that's a T3. Okay, that's a reversion of the mean. Then you've got a T20-1. You've got, now all of these are mechanical trades, by the way. Can you see the arrows? See the arrow? See the arrow? Now when the arrow plots, unlike a lot of so-called indicators and vendors, I give all of my indicators to my members. You don't pay for indicators. So in the 257 you get all, and if I don't have the indicators for your particular trading platform, I give you all the rules and the logic behind them and why they plot anyway. But you'd be in on the third candle there, you'd be in on the third, you'd be in on the third, you'd be in on the second one right there. So let me just quickly, just one moment. Now where was I? Just had someone knock on our front door. Okay, we're just talking about this particular market here. Now on the volume, the other thing you look at is this is perfect set of trading. Okay, this is what we want to see, the waves in the market. See the blue cloud? You want to be following the cloud. The other thing that's important with every market you trade is your volume down here. And you can see here on this micro contract, we've got plenty of volume. You wouldn't want to be trading 100 contracts here on this. Also the commissions would be a real killer. You want to go to the big contract then, but as a stepping stone to go from $1.25, which is 20% of 625, or is it 625? Yeah, 625. Basically it's 20% of that. So the other thing here, if we just quickly look at the 6E right now, this is the euro dollar. Now that's 22, 23, 23, so that's sort of over 30 minutes, and it's a quiet time at the moment because we've got in, what will it be, 2 hours we've got the London Open. But look at these waves in the market. Now I mentioned there, to net 157 a day, you need 25 ticks a day. It's 25 of those. So that's all you need is 25 of those. You go and trade 10 lots at that. That's your $1,500-$1,600 a day. This is the true potential. Follow the cloud, follow the EMAs. So traders, we've covered a great deal. One thing I haven't mentioned here, let me just get this out the way, is what is important for me as I trade. Also, I want to know where all of these levels are. Now they all plot automatically on your charts anyway with the indicators. Where's my pivot levels, the open, high, low and close, our major EMAs, current days high and low. Why? All of these are what we call price magnets. Price loves going to all of these levels. So traders, in the last 30 minutes covered a lot of information on the patterns. You can go back and replay these. By the way, that is the ideal set of trading. You're just waiting for that angle. Better still, come and let me train you. Come and join me. Make sure you get all the goodies. You can download the goodies, but $257 traders. You get a month's training with me, as well as you have lifetime access to the members area. I should have mentioned that. That's lifetime access. And as I said, it literally is a gold mine of information in there, and it's growing all the time. As an example, if you're still here, if you're still interested in this, as an example, just today I recorded a members only recap on and played back a live trading session on trading the, what was it, the ES. So there's a section in here where I've got live trading videos here. So live trading sessions where I'm trading, or where I'm giving an explanation of some of the trades I've recorded. So there's all of this here all included. So traders, I'll leave that with you and look forward to seeing you in one of my classes. Thank you very much. Hope you picked up a couple of ideas. Thanks traders.